What's going on, CDL fans? It's time for the final power ranking of the 2024 season. As much as I'm excited for champs, it's definitely kind of sad that the season is going to be ending. On the bright side, we at least have the Esports World Cup to look for in August. And for my watch party viewers, I will not be watch partying champs. I'll actually be attending the event in person, but stay tuned for all the content that's to come from the event. But let's just hop into it, man. It is the last power rankings of the season. I mean, I'm just going to show you the bottom four because, I mean, those are the bottom four, right? I moved them around a little bit, right? Those two fall in one spot, but these guys did not make champs. A little disappointing to see a team like Ravens or Legion not make champs because I love Clay, I love Attach, but unfortunately, that's just the way it goes. But now we get into our top 8, man, our 8 teams that are attending champs. And at number 8, down 3 spots, I have the Miami Heretics. They did not have the best performance on LAN at Major 4. And going into that event, I had them at number 5. So definitely a bit of a disappointing performance for Miami, but honestly, like 6, 7, 8, you could really interchange. And I'm just going to put all of them on the screen now. I think these 3 could kind of be interchanged, right? I feel like Seattle are probably sort of in that 6th spot, right? LAT and Miami, you could definitely swap if you wanted to. LAT, I had up 1 spot because they just finished a little bit higher at the major than Miami did. Seattle Surge and LAT both got 5th, 6th. But it's going to be real interesting to see how these teams play out. And we're going to look at the bracket real quick at the end of this. Just look at those winners round 1 matchups because there are some upset potential. But to go into our number 5 team, I do have it being LAG. They're up 5 spots, right? I had them at number 10 last week, and now they're up to number 5. I mean, they got a top 3. They've been the best team on LAN outside of top 4. If you wanted to put them in your top 4 over OPTIC, you totally could. But honestly, just kind of looking at the whole season as this is the last ranking heading into champs, I kept OPTIC at number 4. But LAG, man, they look good, and they do face OPTIC in winners round 1, which we will talk about. And then our top 3, I have Toronto Ultra down 2 spots. I mean, the top 3 is just it's the top 3 at the major, right? It's kind of hard to have power rankings not work out that way, but New York just won the most recent event, right? They obviously should be number 1 in the power rankings because they look the best going into this last event, going into this champs event to end the season. But these are the power rankings heading into our final event of the year. But let's look at the bracket. This right here is the bracket. So as you see, FaZe versus Miami to kick it off, right? Probably going to be FaZe. FaZe are pretty unbeatable until they get towards the end of the event into the grand finals, obviously. New York versus Surge, I would typically say is an upset potential. And it's still an upset potential match, right? But New York, obviously the most informed team. They're coming off a major victory. I do think they should be able to beat Seattle. Plus, they've also beaten Seattle on LAN previously this season. Ultra versus LAT. As an LA Thieves fan myself, I would absolutely love to see the boys take this home. But this is a really tough draw, right? I would have rather play OPTIC, which is great for the other team in LA going up against OPTIC Texas, right? You have the potentially one of the top most informed teams, especially on LAN in LAG, versus probably the least informed team, other than maybe Boston Breach, if you want to make that argument, in OPTIC Texas. This one is the upset potential match, in my opinion, right? Anything is possible here. Now, of course, you got to consider this is going to be champs in Texas, hosted by OPTIC. A lot of fans, OPTIC fans are a majority of the fan base in COD. So, of course, that is that potential that OPTIC are just going to ride high off the fan momentum. Or on the counter side, LAG are going to kind of maybe be a little bit more nervous now that they're going to have all the fans cheering against them in their first matchup on LAN at champs. Who really knows what it's going to be? But I mean, major shout out to LAG at the end of the day. This is the first time they've qualified for champs since the first season of the league where all 12 teams went. So technically their first time qualifying. So this roster, despite everything that was thrown at them this season, turned it around and really proved that, you know, they had what it takes to be a good team in the league. Yeah, definitely a quick video. Make sure you stay tuned and subscribe. We're going to be doing the Around the CDL podcast soon this week, going over our brackets, as well as I have a bunch of other content that I'm going to try and get out before champs. And then after champs, I'm going to have content that we film at the event going live across all my social channels. So make sure you are subbed. We're on the road to 5K subs. I appreciate all the support. It's been an absolutely insane season. The first season, I've really went, you know, hard and posted a ton of content throughout the entire year. And it's been super dope to build this community. So I appreciate you all a ton. I seriously mean that from the bottom of my heart. With all that being said, hopefully I'll see you all in the next one.